The Philippine Clean Water Act, Republic Act 9275, presented by Buok Lovely, Lizan Lizal, Eliseo General, and Matubay Riamin. Republic Act 9275, known as Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, aims to protect the country's water bodies from pollution from land-based sources. The land-based sources: industries, toxic chemical and pollutants; commercial establishment, agriculture, chemical and pesticides; community, households, and activity. The Republic Act 9275 was signed by former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo on March 22, 2004. An act providing for a comprehensive water quality management and for other purposes. This act provides for the abatement and control of pollution from land-based sources and lays down water quality standards and regulations. The Clean Water Act has also never adequately addressed our most significant remaining sources of pollution problems: non-point sources. Non-point sources include the indirect discharge of polluted runoff from fields and lawns, paved areas and clear cuts, septic tanks, and abandoned mines. Unauthorized transport or dumping into waters of sewage, sludge, or solid waste. Operate facilities that discharge or allow to seep, willfully or through grave negligence, prohibited chemicals, substances, or pollutants listed under RA. Here is a case concerning the Philippine Clean Water Act, the Manila-based Pollution, and the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources is taking aim at establishments near Manila Bay which have violated environmental laws passed way back in the early 20s. The ENR has begun to inspect establishments near the bay and has given orders for them to put up their own sewage treatment plants. Part of their initiative includes taking water samples of establishments' wastewater discharge. Simato noted that Republic Act 9275, or the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, will be strictly implemented as part of the agency's measures to rehabilitate the heavily polluted bay. The law was similarly enforced when the ENR closed down Boracay for 6 months following massive environmental concerns. Initial inspection by the agency reveals that 9 out of 19 bathing beaches and stations along Manila Bay are extremely polluted, having high coliform levels. Coliform is used to determine water quality as it is believed to be associated with sources of disease-causing organisms that contaminate water. The ENR found out that waters near the cultural center of the Philippines, as a Mall of Asia, Navotas Fish Port, Philippine States Authority Tollways Corp., Rizal Park, San Isidro, Villa Crescenta Resort, and Matal and Celebrity Beach are some bodies that contain high amounts of coliform. Clean Water Program. Secretary Simato's main priority is to improve the quality of our environment, particularly our air, water, and address solid waste problems. Thus, the DENR will be implementing environmental protections program and projects. Priority activity is the implementation of operational plan for the Manila Bay Coastal Strategy 2017 to 2022. On January 2017-2019, DENR Secretary Roy A. Simato officially declared the start of the Manila Rehabilitation at the Bay Walk on Manila on hand to witness the declaration and also join in the earlier event of Solidarity Walk from the Quirino Grandstand to the staging area, Bay Walk. Here about 5,000 individuals, mostly representing the 13 Mandamos agency, local government units, and private sectors. calling it the Battle for Manila Bay. Timato, a former armed forces chief, said, "This is one battle that will be won not with force or arms, but with a firm resolve to bring Manila Bay back to life." He added, "With the commitment and determination of every Filipino to do his share in this rehabilitation effort, we have already won." Manila Bay Rehabilitation Phase 1 Clean-up Water Quality Improvement Phase 2 Rehabilitation and Resettlement Phase 3 Education and Sustainment. To tackle the situation of Manila Bay pollution, the decision was made to rehabilitate and severely enforce the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. The legislation was indeed an effective way to restore the bay's preeminent condition, which is said to be perfect for recreational purposes. The law's implementation was successful in putting an end to the illegal operation of the establishments surrounding the bay. That is, they don't have their own sewage treatment plants, therefore their waste ends up in the bay. Furthermore, the legislation as it was previously is now being utilized to safeguard water bodies, not only in the Manila Bay, but throughout the countries, and this must be done with the participation of local government units. The DENR takes rehabilitation to work Manila Bay's tributary. The Manila Bay rehabilitation will be done in 3 phases: cleanup and water quality improvement, relocation and rehabilitation, and education, protection, and sustainment. According to Timato, the first phase involves the cleanup of terrace and waterways, reductions of focal coliform level and other discharges from establishments, implementation of solid waste management, and planning for the relocation of informal settlers. The first activity will involve the regular conduct of cleanup on garbage and debris, removal of silt by dredging, and introduction of bioremediation, infrastructure improvement, and other engineering interventions such as truss, traps, and silt curtain, Timato said. Bioremediation refers to the use of naturally occurring microorganisms or other forms of life to consume and break down environmental pollutants in order to clean up polluted sites. The microorganisms can also be deliberately introduced in the site. Timato said there will also be an intensified promotion of the 38s of ecological solid waste management, namely, reduce, reuse, and recycle, provisions of adequate receptacles for waste, segregation, and conduct of information, education, and communication activities. Last January 27, the DENR launched the 3-phase Battle for Manila Bay, where over 10,000 people joined a massive cleanup activity on Rojas Boulevard in Manila and other parts of Manila Bay region. More than a month since the launch, the DENR and the Laguna Lake Development Authority have already issued a total of 263 notices of violation and 119 cases, and this ordered to establishments in Metro Manila, Central Luzon, and Calabar Zone that have violated in the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004 other pertinent environmental laws. Strict enforcement of Clean Water Act key to reviving Manila Bay. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or the DENR, will strictly implement the country's clean water law to ensure the success of the effort to revive the heavily polluted Manila Bay. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources, DENR, on Tuesday vowed to finish rehabilitation efforts in Manila Bay, including the Beach Nourishment Project, despite criticisms and the use of crushed dolomite boulders as artificial white sand. Reviewing the policy on water pollution. The Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004 was established to protect, preserve, and revive water quality to the country's resources. It mandates DENR to coordinate with the National Water Resource Board in rehabilitating and improving different bodies of water that may be polluted and affected by improper waste disposal. Under the law, it is prohibited to discharge material of any kind to water bodies, including groundwaters, in indirect or direct manner. Following are the references of RA 9275, the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. Thank you for watching.